Well, good morning. We will continue our media availabilities here in the Daytona International Speedway Media Center. We'll have three OEM-specific media availabilities this year, as we did last year, kind of bookend the season. And this one in Daytona is special. What we're hoping for an annual tradition to have our OEM partners with their respective team owners. And I'm pleased to have with us here today, sitting from left to right. We have Jim Campbell. He's the Chevrolet U.S. Vice President, Truck Strategy, Performance Vehicles, and Motorsports. Richard Childress Racing, Chip Ganassi Racing, Rick Hendrick Motorsports, and Richard Petty Motorsports. And not only will a Chevrolet lead the pack on Sunday with Alex Bowman's Daytona 500 Pole Award, but it's also the debut of the Chevrolet Camaro ZL1. And Jim, what's it like, we'll start with you, racing with these four owners?
Well, first of all, hello to everybody here. It is a real honor to race with these four Chevrolet team owners. It's absolutely incredible. And to think that next to me, obviously, with Richard Childress in the Hall of Fame class of 2017 with 2 wins here at the Daytona 500 and 107 wins overall with Chevrolet. At the Cup level, not to mention 6 championships at that level, and also Xfinity and Truck. Incredible to be sitting here with Richard, and obviously Rick Hendrick, 8-time winner here at this race, Daytona 500, and 249 Chevy wins at the Cup level, and 12 championships at that level as well. Absolutely incredible. Class of 2017 NASCAR Hall of Fame. Chip Ganassi obviously won this race 2010. I stood in winner's circle with him, and it was an amazing year that year, and we've won a lot of races together here with Chevrolet, 11 Cup wins plus Xfinity, and we've also had a chance to win a championship in IndyCar together in 2015, and he was here celebrating a win at the Rolex just not too long ago. So it's great to race with Chip, and obviously having Richard Petty back with Chevrolet is really exciting. He had 6 wins with Chevrolet in 79 and 80. The first one was at Martinsville, and he won 31 times at the Cup level with Chevrolet and our other divisions in our company. He's won this race 7 times, and his family and drivers in the family 2 other times, 9 times. So amongst all these drivers here, 20 wins at the Daytona 500. We couldn't be prouder, and to race the ZL1 is very special.
And speaking of very special, it was a very special day, Jim, back in August when you all debuted the new Camaro ZL1 at your headquarters. And first question is to Mr. Hendrick. What's it like racing this new car?
Well, to me, it's like a dream come true being a dealer, and I'm a huge Camaro fan, Corvette and Camaro, and I've got one of the original ZL1s, and to see the car that we have in the showroom exactly like that on the racetrack, it's going to be, they'll win on Sunday, sell on Monday. I hope that's going to work regardless. But it's such a good-looking car, and it's such a Chevrolet did more work on this car than I think any car they've ever brought into this series. But this is such an iconic car. If you think about a ZL1, if you've got one today at an auction, will bring between $300,000 and $600,000. So it's an amazing car, iconic nameplate with Chevrolet. So as a dealer, I am more than excited to be able to have this car on the showroom floor and to race it on Sunday.
Mr. Childress, your thoughts on the ZL1?
Oh, I think it's great. I go back to, I ran a Camaro in the Talladega 500 in 1969 when the track was opened, and to be running a Camaro again today in NASCAR is unbelievable. And like Rick said, this car looks so much. Everybody's worked hard to keep it looking like our street version of the ZL1.
Mr. Petty, your thoughts on the new car, and Bubba's going to be sitting number 7 on Sunday.
Well, it's all new to me for sure. You know, like I said, first time we've been back with Chevrolet in a pretty good while. Really looking forward to it. We're working a whole lot with Chevrolet, working with RCR. Sort of a new chapter in Richard Petty Motorsports book. You know, we got a new shop, we got a new car, we got a new driver. So, you know, and had a pretty good night last night. Was very, very appreciative of how everything went for us last night. Brand new, everything was brand new to us. So we're looking forward to the rest of the year like everybody else. But from our standpoint, it was almost like winning. And really, we did win because it's a brand new team when we look at it from that standpoint. Chevrolet's been really behind us to, to try to get us up to speed on how they run their operations and stuff. So so far it's been good, and we're looking forward to bigger and better things.
And Mr. Ganassi, your thoughts on their first experience with this car on track?
Yeah, it's obviously pretty exciting, as Jim said. Getting started at the end of the summer last year. With the first of all the excitement of like Rick said, the iconic nameplate when we heard it was going to be a Camaro, and then of course, seeing little pieces, parts and pieces come through the race shop as they began to build it, and you realize this thing is. They kept saying, "Well, it's going to be like the showroom car, like the showroom car, like the showroom car," and we've all heard that for a long time. It actually is, and it really was, and that was kind of a nice surprise. So yeah, very excited, and obviously we're excited about the performance the last few days here at Daytona, and certainly looking forward to Sunday.
Thank you, gentlemen. And
Yeah,
Jim,
I would just add the development of the Camaro Z01, a total collaborative effort with the Chevrolet teams and our engineers. We'll have our chief designer for Chevrolet, John Cafaro, is going to be here this afternoon, and he did the original design and sketch. Then we worked together with the teams and our engineers and their engineers around a really intensive CFD analysis, then going 40% scale model, and you iterate between those two over and over and over again till you get the car in terms of downforce, drag, side force where you want it. We did full scale wind tunnel testing. Then obviously we did our submission to NASCAR, got that approved, and it's been a great process, and we're thrilled that it's running on track.
Thank you, Mr. Campbell, and thank you, gentlemen. And with that, we'll open it up to questions. We'll start here with Greg.
Hey, Greg Engelauto Week. For you, Jim, talk about the pressure, because you won 10 races last year, but the Toyotas were pretty dominant. Talk about the pressure of having to debut this new Camaro and all that goes into that, plus having to play catch up, so to speak, to make sure that you're competitive. Which, with the duels and stuff, it seems like you are. But the pressure that you had to go through and your design teams had to go through, and I'll have a quick follow up.
Well, we're in a pressure sport. I'm telling you that every single weekend, Chevrolet is racing somewhere in the world in one of about 6 series. So we definitely understand that piece of it. We obviously introduced the Chevrolet SS in 13 along with the other Gen 6 entries. So this is our first opportunity to refresh and come with a new model. And you have to do that when you have a production model that changes. You just can't do it at will. And so, in some ways, Ford did the introduction in 13, then they updated in 16. Right. The Camry went 13, 15, 17. So they got a few more changes of their body style. So this one was really important to us. Number one, to make sure we connect the track and the showroom together. We want authenticity. Fuel-injected V8 in the showroom, rear-wheel drive configuration, manual transmission. That's how you buy it in the showroom. That's how you race it on the track. We're not doing front-wheel drive in the showroom and rear-wheel drive in the track. We're just not going to do that. SS to Camaro Z01, that's why we selected the Camaro, because we could stay with that authenticity. And I will just tell you, we worked very closely with these teams here and their engineers and our engineers to make sure we had from the downforce, side force, the drag. First of all, there's some requirements you have to meet for NASCAR, but there's also choices within that of how you balance the car. We work very closely to do that. So yeah, this is a big deal. We're in a performance sport. 39 manufacturers championships, over 30 drivers championships. Last year was 1 year. We're on now to 18, and our goal is to win manufacturers championship and work with the drivers to give them the best chance to win races, make the playoff, and drive to a championship. Those are our objectives every single year.
Thank you. For quick follow up for the team owners. Can you talk about the resources you had to devote to, going into this redesign and still remain competitive? In other words, you were looking for the future to debut this car, but you had to remain competitive at the same time. The challenges that those presented.
Go ahead, Rick. No, it was just a great team effort from all the teams at Chevy. We were concentrating on 2017, but we knew we had to come with a really great race car to come out this year, and we did a lot of work. All three of us right here at the time were working together and to get the best product, and I think we got us a winner here.
We'll go to Matt, then Mike, then Dominic.
Matt Weaver, Auto Week. Really, this is a question for each of you guys. As owners and as a head of an OEM, each of you guys have worked with Brent Dewar in various capacities. I'm doing a feature story on him, and I'm just curious, how has he performed in each of your view as president of NASCAR?
Well, I'll take the first one. One of the things that Brent, but also Mike, Brent, Steve Phelps, O'Donnell, Jill Gregory, all with the support obviously of Brian and Lisa and Jim. One thing that they instituted in a very formal way was what's called an OEM council. And in our world, in the automobile business, it is standard practice. You have a dealer council that you work with on the variable side of the business where we sell new cars and used cars and do financing, and you do the same thing on the fixed operations in the service and parts business and body shop business. And Rick obviously is close to that piece of it. And so that created a forum where NASCAR can sit with the three OEMs and talk about issues on the competition and marketing side. And that, I will tell you, we value. I want to hear things ahead of time, not after, and this forum gives us that exact ability. And so that's one thing that Brent, Mike, and their leadership team with support of Brian, Jim, and Lisa instituted that we value a lot.
Well, I worked with Brent when he was with Chevrolet and General Motors, and very smart, very innovative, listens, and I think he's done a super job. You don't always agree. That's just normal in the sport and racing, but I think he's had a lot come at him from the RTA and everything else in the sport, but as the sport evolves, I think he was a good pick.
We'll go to Mike, then Dominic, then Mark Arrow.
Mike Neff from FrontStretch.com. This is for you, Jim. In talking with crew chiefs and some of the backroom guys of the race teams last year, Toyota was in the wind tunnel 3 to 4 days a week all season long with a car that had already been established. What kind of a commitment has Chevy made to their teams for 2018 and beyond, wind tunnel wise and development wise on this new car?
Yeah, and Mark Kent and Pat Sui are here. Mark's our director of racing for all of our race programs. Pat leads our NASCAR programs through Cup, Xfinity, and Truck. And what I described in the process in which we developed it, these are sets of tools that we use, and wind tunnel is a key tool for us. The specifics of what we're doing, I'm not going to reveal, but I will tell you we're committed to providing all the tools we need to stay right on top of this vehicle. And while wind tunnel is one of them, we're also deep into simulation, simulators, and using those tools in conjunction one with the other is really, I think, quite important. We're in 6-7 race series across the industry, across the globe, and we use all those tools in conjunction one to the other. And Chevy's had a pretty good run across the different series. Obviously, we got some work to do in the Cup. We're going to do that, and the wind tunnel is one of many elements we'll use.
Dominic, Mark, then Lewis.
Dominic Ottagon with the Racing Experts. For any of the owners,
Oh, there is.
Yeah,
Okay,
over.
thank you.
yeah, so for any of the owners, when you guys drive up here to Daytona for the first time to begin the new season, what are some of the memories that just start flooding?
Chip, you want to take?
Yeah, I mean, go ahead. Oh, go
Came
ahead.
up here in '59, came through the tunnel, had a race car hung on the back of a pickup truck, and there was one little building in the infield, which was a NASCAR inspection station.
Got to move that mic a little closer.
It looked forever. Okay, and it looked like it forever. And the track, first time I'd seen anything with a bank like it, looked like a wall. Okay, and it was just a 21-year-old kid. I mean, looked like I'd died and gone to heaven as far as the racetrack's concerned. So, we started out here with nothing, and you see what they built since then.
Mark, then Lewis, then Bob.
Mark Garrow, PRN, for the car owners up there, guys. When you saw how much work was done in the final numbers, side force, down force, all the things that you guys are looking for, were you 100% confident that you guys were going to jump out of the box a lot stronger this year than you ended last season?
You know, I'll tell you, with sitting up here with these guys and talking about the history at Daytona here and the 20 wins up at the table, and the history that these guys have in the sport, I can tell you that I don't think any of us were ever 100% confident when you roll off the truck how you're going to be. I don't know about you guys, but there's always that you can do all the simulation you want and you can do all the wind tunnel time you want, and until that driver comes back on the radio that first time around, you really there's always that question in your mind. So at least that's how it is. That's how it is for me. You're never 100%. Never. I'm not sure we're 100% now. Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
Lewis, Bob, and then Godwin.
Louis Frank of Reuters. Does the pointed nose of the Camaro give you guys an advantage in the photo finish? But seriously, bump drafting, have you had to make any modifications on how you approach bump drafting or maybe starts?
Richard?
I don't think it's going to bump draft that well. I think we've seen it the other night in the Clash. I don't think any of these cars are going to bump draft very good. It doesn't matter which ones they are. I haven't really seen anybody. I know last night, I guess, or maybe it was in the Clash. Last night, Newman told me, said, look, I can't pull up there and push him on one of those restarts. So, they're a little bit hesitant right now with the nose. I don't think any of the cars can bump draft that good.
And I think that's probably more of not so much the body as much as the fact that the rules have changed a little bit in terms of the rear end of the car, and you can sort of run what you want. And I think that might have something to do with that as well.
Bob?
Bob Hawkers, ESPN. Richard, what was wrong with Austin Dillon's car? Because he finished pretty decent in the duel, but he went to a backup.
When the 20 crashed, he come across and knocked his whole front end down and bent the front snout down, and that's where all the sparks were coming from. So they decided to go with this Hawkeye. I know Chip's team is over there changing, putting nose on and everything, but we just felt we had another car we felt was as good, and NASCAR let us change it out because this Hawkeye you got to really be on it to get through.
We'll come back up front with Godwin Kelly.
Godwin Kelly, News Journal. Chip, you get a pass on this one.
Thanks.
But for the other three car owners, I'm creeping toward retirement age, the legal retirement age. All three of you guys are well over the retirement age, but you keep on going. What's the motivation for continuing to work past the government retirement age? And I need an answer from everybody.
Debt.
Chip.
Debt will do it. If you have enough debt, that'll do it.
Yeah, Richard, you want to answer this one since you are a senior? Then I'll answer.
I've been going to races since I was 11 years old, and drove the race car. It was a hobby. Okay, now basically it's a hobby. It's trying to make a living out of it too. But it's in your blood. It's done. I wouldn't know what to do if I didn't do the racing part. So I guess when my toes turn up, I'll still be at the racetrack somewhere.
Yeah. And I came here the first time like Richard. I came here in 1965 and was my first time working for another team. And we stayed in a tent out here off of Nova Road. And, I just love the sport. I love how I've been fortunate to do what we've been able to do in such a great sport.
Probably. Go ahead, Chip, please.
I'm just trying to push all these old guys out to make more room for me.
So that's a good transition, Mr. Campbell. I understand you gathered this crew for a pretty special photo.
Yeah, I just, first of all, one thing I just want to say about all four of these team owners and other team owners we work with at Chevrolet. The passion they have for the sport is absolutely incredible. Every single day, they're thinking about how they get better, how they get faster, and we work in collaboration. They push us, we push them, but there's so much passion up here. And I just want to tell you a story. We had a really special moment before the race here. We gathered next door at our Chevrolet Experience Center, and for those of you who know what that was before, it was Experience Center. That was the old winner's circle. I was standing with these four team owners who have 20 wins here, and we had a chance to take a picture with Firebird 1, which was designed by a guy named Harley Earl, who was our chief stylist at our company. And the model on top of the Daytona 500 trophy, the Harley J. Earl trophy, is that Firebird 1. We have the actual Firebird 1 here. It's jet turbine, kerosene fuel, 2-speed, power glide transmission, and we got a picture with these guys. And it was fun to talk to them, particularly Rick Hendrick, Richard Childress, about standing in the old winner's circle when they won the race with their teams or as drivers. That was really special. And Chip and I had a chance to stand in the new winner's circle in 2010. It was a special moment. If you get a chance, we'd like to invite you to swing over to our Chevrolet Experience Center and check out what is modeled on top of the Harley J. Earl trophy. The Firebird 1 is here. Thanks.
Well, with no other questions, that seems like a great place to end. Oh, Lee.
Kind of following up on Godwin's question, where's the next generation of team ownership coming from? Because at some point you guys might want to play golf or, get on your sailboat or do whatever. So where is that next generation coming from?
I got about 25 people with the name Petty on the end of it, so they'll be here for a while.
Yeah. My son-in-law is Marshall Carlson, doing an unbelievable job. He's the president of Motorsports. He's 42, and so I think Gordon wants to be around. Junior, we're partners up at the Xfinity deal. He's retired driving, so I think our deal's in good shape for the future.
That's great. Yeah, this is one of the things that in the car business we go through transitions over time, and for the most part, our dealer partners do have a plan of succession and bringing people up, and part of that is training, getting people experiences in different jobs. It's really important, and I see a lot of that happening with all of our teams in all of the series that we compete in. So, thanks.
She could probably run it better than me. She runs our winery and some of our other businesses. So she's our consultant. Believe me, I hear about it every Monday morning, sometimes Sunday night.
Last question from the middle right here.
Hi, Brendan Marks from the Charlotte Observer. It's nice to finally meet all you guys. It doesn't sound like team ownership is something you're all particularly concerned about going forward. In that case, for each of the team owners, what would you say is the biggest challenge, either on or off the track, still facing the sport?
Well, that's a good one. The biggest challenge on and off the track facing the sport. Yeah, I think the biggest challenge on and off the track facing the sport is, we've all, these guys up here have been in this sport a lot longer than me. I feel like I've been in it a long time myself, and I think it's we're not only competing against each other on Sunday, and we all sit up here and work together, but on Sunday, we want to kick each other's rear ends pretty hard when it comes down to it. But the fact of the matter is, I think the biggest challenge facing all sports today is just competing with each other for that sports fan, and sports fans today have so many choices. I think that's a big part of it. I think also we grew up in an era where at least I did. I grew up in an era where we idolized our sports fans today. We idolized our fans growing up, are the players, the professionals. I know I idolized this guy sitting down here at the end of the table. I used to sit at home on Sundays in Pittsburgh in February watching it snow, and before I was a part of Motorsports and watching Richard and such. So, but today, I don't know who these kids idolize today. You know what I mean? Is it they have many more people that they look to. I think just how they grew up, and it's not only their sporting heroes. It could be, you know, the MTV culture, that world. You know, they idolize other people besides sports stars. So I think that's the biggest challenge for all sports.
Gentlemen, thank you for your time today, and best of luck for the rest of the weekend.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. All right. Real quick, guys, we have a quick announcement here. I'm joined up here by Ricky Stenhouse Jr., obviously the driver of the number 17 Ford Fusion. Mr. Jim Weiss, he is the Tampa City president for Fifth Third Bank. And then, obviously, Chip Weil, who needs no introduction in his own palace here at Daytona Stadium. You may or may not know that Fifth Third Bank is the official bank of Daytona International Speedway. They're also the official bank of the Daytona 500 and the Coca-Cola 400. And Ricky was fortunate enough last year to get his second career win in the Coke Zero 400. And leading into that, Fifth Third Bank has launched a debit card program for Daytona International Speedway. And in order to be able to pick what the debit card was going to look like, they held a contest on social media. And we're going to take a look at what won here. It's interesting to note that the card design here that won got twice the amount of votes as any of the other cards. And also important to note that this will launch in late April. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask these three gentlemen to walk over and unveil.
I don't think it's going to take three of us.
Oh, this is heavy. It's real heavy. It's called a photo op.
I like it.
All right, gentlemen. All right, Ricky, I'm told that was your favorite design there.
Yeah, it was. Now, it was really special to win here at Daytona, having Fifth Third on the car and being the official bank of Daytona, and then obviously a great partner of ours was, a special night here in July. So hopefully we can kind of replicate that come Sunday. I feel really good, about our chances come Sunday. But, to have Fifth Third Bank as, a partner in all aspects of, our sport is really cool, and to see them really embrace, the marketing platforms and things that I feel like our sport has to offer and our race team. So it's been a great partnership. We do a lot of great things together throughout the year, and looking forward to another successful 2018 with them.
Jim, that's a pretty nice site there, right?
We're really excited about it, Kevin, and Fifth Third Bank's really excited about our commitment to motorsport, and specifically our partnerships with Ricky and Roush Fenway, and especially our position as the official bank of the Daytona Speedway and the Daytona 500. It's exciting for us, and we're especially excited to be able to make this now available to our customers. Starting in late April, this card will be available.
Can I get mine sooner?
We'll see what we can do for you, Ricky. But this will be available to all of our customers in late April for debit card purposes tied to a checking account with us, and we'll be getting that information out. We are, in fact, taking names out on the midway as we speak. We'll be following up with anybody who's interested to get these in their hands as quickly as possible.
All right, Chip.
Yeah, it's great to have Fifth Third as a partner, not only at Daytona but also at One Daytona across the street, and then to have Ricky visit Victory Lane here in Daytona is special. Ricky and I have been friends for a long time, and it was great to see him finally get his victory here. He's been fast for a long time, so it's great to have both of you up here, and look forward to a great week. Good luck, Ricky.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Remember, that's available in late April, and our intention is to see you guys back in here Sunday afternoon. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.